What I mean is that it can be much more graphic. You lose more of that cartoon violence and you enter the world of realism. In regards to sex and nudity, well, the sex scenes can be longer, there can be more movement, if you know what I mean. And as I was alluding to before, the reason that so many filmmakers try to avoid this R rating is because they need a larger audience to watch their movies in theaters. So if you have an R rating but you're trying to target teenagers, you're not making money.
Show me the money! I need to feel you, Jerry! Show me the money! Jerry, you better yell! Show me the money! Show me the money!
An interesting point that they mention in the podcast related to sex and nudity is that heterosexual or straight kissing scenes and sex scenes more easily get the desirable ratings compared to homosexual or gay kissing and sex scenes. Brokeback Mountain being a good example. In this film, they adhered to the PG-13 guidelines, but were unable to get the desired PG-13 rating. Simply put, this is a clear reflection of American society and attitudes towards homosexuality.
Giving away free tickets for the movie?
No, not yet.
Not yet?
No.
Are you for real?
No.
Okay.
You taking pictures?
Yeah, just
He
filming.
got me on there.
You're on there.
Don't put me on that.
All right, back to the topic. NC-17, adults only. Before, with R-rated movies, a child could still go to the movie with adult supervision. Now with NC-17, you cannot watch the movie in theaters if you are under the age of 17. A movie with this rating could have levels of extreme violence, but we generally associate it with quite pornographic films. Sometimes it gets pretty close to your average softcore porn. It's rare that an NC-17 rated film will be mainstream. These are more cult classics if they do reach some level of success. Some popular examples are A Clockwork Orange, Tie Me Up, Tie Me Down, The Dreamers, and Evil Dead. If Evil Dead were made today, it would definitely be an R-rated film. Because, like I said, Americans today generally accept more violence in the movies that they watch. For a movie that was rated NC-17 because of sexual content, it's worth mentioning Boogie Nights.
Hi. Do you have any Coke at this party?
Oh gosh, I'm sure they can find some somewhere.
This film made the MPAA go, wow, this is NC-17. There's a lot of sex, too much boob, who knows what else. But the director obviously did not want this rating because he would lose viewership. So all they did was cover up some of the breast, and the MPAA went, okay, it's rated R now. I mean, it's just a demonstration of how silly this stuff can be. So that's the American movie rating system. Tell me what you think about it. Tell me your favorite movies from each of these ratings. And tell me what this system is like in your country. Is it more laissez-faire? To be laissez-faire, or have a laissez-faire attitude about something. To have a policy of not interfering with something. To be tolerant, to not care. Is your country more laissez-faire, or is it stricter? By the way, before I forget, subscribe and comment if you like these videos. YouTube likes it when you do it, and then it really helps me out. The first word from today is to stand for something. Of course, this means to represent, to signify. It can also be an abbreviation or a logo for something. Today, we've been talking about the MPAA. That stands for the Motion Picture Association of America. It's a long name. If a person has a nickname, that stands for their full name. You know, something like Tim standing for Timothy. Next we had to curse or to swear. These both mean the exact same thing. So use whichever one you like more. And the nouns here are a swear word and a curse word. Again, you choose which one to use. It's common to use swear words when you're with friends or in other informal types of situations. Some people don't like to use swear words. I have a much more laissez-faire attitude towards them. For me, swearing, it's an art form. You can do it well, while sometimes you can overuse it and abuse it. It's just like any other speaking skill. Alright, next we have to tend to do something. And that's to regularly or frequently behave in a certain manner or to regularly do something. You could also say to have a tendency to do something or to be inclined to do something. This is the way that you regularly act or behave. These are your tendencies. I tend to eat healthy. It's not something I did once or do rarely. I tend to do it every day. Not all the time, and not for every meal. It's a general trend that I follow. An F-bomb. It's a polite way to mention that 4-letter swear word that I mentioned before. If you want to use this as a verb, you can say to use an F-bomb or to drop an F-bomb. We say drop because it's like a bomb. It's a bit funny when you think about it. A popular example of dropping some F-bombs in a movie is in A King's Speech. There's a scene where the king realizes that he doesn't stutter when he's swearing, and so he drops about 50 F-bombs in about 5 seconds. That scene by itself, because there's no nudity and no violence, caused it to be rated R. So I think a lot of people would agree that it's far-fetched to rate a movie R just because of a couple swear words. Okay, our last word. Laissez-faire. To be laissez-faire or to have a laissez-faire attitude about something. Now this comes directly from French, and it's to have a policy of not interfering with something, just not caring about something, or being tolerant. For example, many parents have a laissez-faire attitude towards the movie rating system. They let their children see any movie because they don't really care about the ratings. I guess the opposite of being laissez-faire is to be a real stickler. And I just want to mention that when we use this word when talking about economics, it becomes very specific. Now we are talking about the government not becoming involved in free trade, intervening in the free market, free enterprise, free market capitalism, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so do you have any tricky words that you want me to put in the next video? Write it in the comments and I'll put it in the next video.